Hey guys, how's it going? This is one of my very first YouTube videos. I'm trying to get this YouTube channel up and going and talk about things about money and buying houses and different types of side hustles to make money and eventually retire early. So, first thing I'm going to talk about is my journey and how to buy rental properties. So, I'm going to be talking about that, and then I have a spreadsheet that actually goes through everything that you need, and I have it pulled up here on the screen. It tells you if you are going to be profitable with a certain type. So we're actually going to go through a house on Zillow together with that and fill out the information, see if it would be profitable. And then on top of that, we're going to be talking about process of buying a house and how to go about it, everything with that, and then how to use this to make passive income and then establish long-term wealth from that, and then eventually retiring early. So let's just jump right into it. And with this spreadsheet, I've kind of used it for different types of houses. So I'm actually in the process of buying another one. So this is for the current one that I'm looking at. So I just randomly picked a house on here. As you can see, it's in Peoria, Illinois. So we have 4 bedrooms and 2 bath. That's great. And for the price, 115. That's great. What I would recommend is always offering about 40 to 30% of the house's value, and then seeing if they go for it. 30% should be safe, and then they meet in the middle, and you lose about 15% off the total value. That'd be great. Uh, and then so we would just fill it out like this: 115, so 115,000, and then we'll update the bedrooms for average cost. I just go on Google and I look up the average cost per bedroom for a 4-person house. And then so that'd be 440, and then I have the formula that multiplies these together. We'd be at 1760 for the actual rent, the total revenue that you're going to be bringing in. So, and then the mortgage, we'll just look up here. You can actually scroll down and it'll give you a very rough estimate. You can actually, where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so principals and interest, you can actually do the down payment and all that and put your credit score in. Principals and interest, it's going to be 611. So we'll put that in there, 611. And then estimated property tax, we'll do, what does it say? 202. So Illinois is a little bit more than what most states are. So that's where you're going to see a lot of the expenses on this house. So just for hypothetical reasons, we'll keep going. Insurance costs, this is always going to lowball it. The home insurance, I would definitely recommend doing like a 4 million GL on a landlord liability if you're going to be renting this out. That's going to be probably between 80 to 120, so we'll say $100. So that multiplies it already per month into a yearly cost, which would be 1,200 a month or a year. And then we would be going into utilities. Typically, I would just say you would need water and sewage in your name, then make the renters pay the rest. If you don't want to do that, I would always suggest uh, water and sewage because they can get a lien on your name if they have the utilities in their name for the house that you actually own. Just stay away from that. Just put it in your name. And then if you wanted to go about putting utilities in your name and making them pay a little bit extra, that's fine too. Just make them very well aware of it. They can run up your expenses with that a little bit, but most of the time you can use it, and actually, since you're paying more expenses, you can write it off on your taxes a little bit better. So it actually kind of works both ways. Just depends how you feel. And then we have total expenses per month. It already calculates it up. Okay, $1,000 with the mortgage. That's really not bad. And then we have 1760. Okay, that's not too bad. We could even increase. I think we could go about 500 per person. So we'd be looking at 2,000 profit, and you'd be losing about 1,000, and you'd be at $987 profit per month. So that's great. I mean, you're making $11,844. So this house, honestly, I would say this is green. This is green, good, go. Uh, I would put a check mark next to this and save this for later because I would definitely be making an offer. So that's what I do to really determine if that's a good profitability. What you can also do is I kind of had these on the side. If you look at the ROI, so if I was just spitballing and I said, let's go with um, the total profit in a year divided by the total house value. That'd be, wow, 10%. That's great. I mean, you're making 12,000 whenever you're owing only 115,000. So in 10 years with a 10% ROI, you're going to be actually making a lot more. You'll be making in 10 years and then you'll be paid off basically. If you decided to put that money back that way. And so if we did get the house for 100,000, then we would actually be at a almost 12% ROI. So let me talk about how I've been going about it and what I think is the best possible way for you to retire early. And so a lot of people say, hey, get your house, and what you're going to be doing is pay it off as soon as possible. Double, triple payments, put that money right back into it. Yes, that's a great strategy. I do not blame anyone for doing that. My strategy, however, is actually you're going to get one house, and then, okay, you make 12 to 16 grand a year. Okay, now put that back the next year, and then you're going to get another house. And with your working income, let's say you save 10K, and then the first house you get makes you 12K. Okay, now you have 22K a year that you're going to be making. Every single year, I'm going to roll that over into a new duplex or a new rental. If I can get a duplex, great. Way better opportunities there. But I'm going to do, let's say, 10,000 of my own income, 12,000 from this rental, and I'm going to put that aside for a down payment for the next house. So every single year, I'm going to save that 24,000. The next year, I'm going to do another rental, and then after that year, I'm going to buy another one. I'll be making 36K if it's 12K additionally every year, and I save another 10K every year. So we'll be at 24K the first year, okay, and then we'll be at 36K, then 48K, then we'll be at 60K. So it is going to spiral very quickly. In 4 to 5 years, you're going to be making $48,000 to $60,000 a year. Whenever all you have to really invest into this is, let's say, a 20K down payment, or let's say you even start off cheaper than that. And on this house, they say, okay, investment property, you need 15% down, which that is very typical. You would be paying on a $100,000 house, let's say you could even get it cheaper, you'd be less, but you'd be at $15,000 in income, or in down payment. So $15,000 down, really not breaking the bank too much if you've been saving for a year or 2 years. That's very accomplishable. And then after that, you're going to be making this $12,000 every single year after that. And so I think in the first 5 years, you need to get one per year of a rental property, and then constantly be putting money towards the down payment at first. And then after those 5 years, you have 5 rentals, you're making $60,000 a year. That's livable. So I think that's one of the best options. And then once you get up to $60,000 a year for your total rental income that you're making every year, then you can use $60,000 to get 2 a year, and then work up to 100K by having 7 to 9 rentals. And you can essentially, at 60K, you can live off of that and just retire early. So 5 years of investing one per year, you can actually turn it into a retirement gig where you're basically the property manager of the rentals. So, and then next thing I'm going to be talking about is how to buy a house step by step. And the first thing, you're going to get pre-approved, and I would go through multiple banks and just check their rates and go with a personal loan instead of a commercial because it's lower percentages. And then what you need to do is transfer the title after 60 to 90 days and then just have it in a personal loan. And then you'll have a better down payment and you'll have a better interest rate on that, but definitely check between different banks and see which one is the lowest so you save more money in the long run. And then, so that's the first step, go get pre-approved. And then I just went on Zillow and looked, and it'll tell you who the realtor is. You can use one of those, or you can use a family friend if they're a realtor or anything like that. And then you'll go take a look at houses and everything like that. And then let's say you find one that checks out on the spreadsheet and you really like it, then basically what you'll do is you'll talk with the realtor, be like, hey, is there anything of concern? Get the seller's disclosure that tells you all about the furnace age and the roof age, the wiring, and the furnace, AC, all that. So double check those are all fairly recent, so you don't have to update anytime soon, because that's going to be a huge expense pretty recent after you buy your first one. And so you want to do that. Double check that information. Then let's say you're ready to put an offer in. You just contact your realtor, and then she'll put an offer for you. Again, I said probably do 30 to 40% lower than what the asking price is. And then after that, they will say yes or no, or they'll come back with a counter offer, and then you accept that if that's okay with you, or you can counter them. And then after that, so let's say they agree to meet in the middle on after your first offer, and let's say you were 30K down, they said 15, and you said 22.5. Okay. Well, you agreed to that. Okay, now what comes next is the inspection. So you'll look around for a company that does inspections, and it's about $400 to $500 depending on the area. Sometimes it can be a little more, but typically about 500. And you'll pay that out of pocket. That's your expense. And then they will do a probably 4 to 6 hour inspection on average, sometimes a little longer. And they will send you a report of everything that's wrong or needs to be fixed, what's top priority, anything of concern. And then after that, you have to re-agree to terms with the current owner of the house. And so sometimes you ask for credit because, hey, there's a huge problem with mold in the attic. There's a hole in the side of the roof, whatever it is. You'll ask for, hey, I want full price of that. That's going to be $3,000 fix. I want $3K at closing. And so they'll subtract that off the total value of the house. Let's say it was $100K, and that'll be $97. So after that, you get through that, and then you're going to go to the title company with them. They'll schedule a day, and they will make you sign all these papers, so all the agreements, all the pricing, and that morning you'll have to actually pay them before you go into the title company, make sure that's all good. And then whenever you're in there, you'll sign all these documents, and then the title will be transferred over to you in your name. If you're going to be doing a personal loan, I would put it in your name and then transfer the title later to maybe an LLC name, which that's always good after probably 60 to 90 days. And then after that, you are all set. You've signed the deed. So the house is in your name. Now all you have to do is worry about utilities, which you probably did before. Usually you do it a few days before and just transfer those into your name, maybe on the same day of closing or maybe one day before. And then after that, then you're just going to be setting up leases, write up a lease, and then go on a few different places. There's always Facebook Marketplace you can post it. There's apartments.com. They do it for free. You can do a few different options. I think maybe Zillow has an option for free as well. So those three main ones, you can get some people in there pretty quick, and then you should be set for the next year. And I always do a 1-year lease, and I don't let anybody opt out of it. If one person opts out, then that's not my problem. You guys still pay the total. So that's how everything's went for me. That's exactly how I would go about the whole process of buying your first rental. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I will attach the spreadsheet actually at the bottom of the notes of this video in the description. So if you guys have any questions, please comment. Please like and subscribe, and let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you.